This video is brought to you by my two books, Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist and The Blues Guitar Bible. Want to learn about modes, harmony, scales, chord substitution and keys? Or maybe you're interested in supercharging your blues guitar rhythm and lead chops. Whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you will be hitting the fast lane to progress with either of these works. Both feature video demonstrations and tutorials, loads of tabs and jam tracks to play along with, and I promise you, everything is explained in crystal clear plain English. Check out the links in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now, here's a trait that I've noticed recently. Chaps of a certain vintage, shall we say this kind of vintage, who got into playing the guitar same sort of time as I did, back in the late 70s, early 80s, and unlike me, who I was attracted straight away to kind of rock and roll and blues and stuff like that. A lot of these chaps were kind of drawn towards the heavier side of things, rock and metal and so on. So they spent a good part of their life listening to Iron Maiden and Metallica and, all of the kind of usual suspects. Well, a lot of these fellas are now sort of mellowing a little bit in their middle age, in the prime of life, as you might say. They're seeking out blues. So I thought what I'd do today is, if that sort of description fits you, if you've been, into the heavier side of things throughout your 20s, 30s, and then you hit your 40s, and then maybe even once you pass the big 5-0, you start thinking, yeah, I want to just kind of chill out a little bit. I want to listen to some blues. What albums would I recommend? Well, that's what we're talking about today. These are not necessarily my favourite blues albums. One or two of them would make that list. But what I think these are more than anything else, just the best albums for somebody who spent a lifetime listening to heavier music and just wants to sort of start exploring the bluesier side of things. So let's see what we've got, starting with
Still Got the Blues by Gary Moore.
Yeah, this one had to be on the list, didn't it? If you grew up in the 80s and you were listening to Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and Metallica and, all of that sort of heavier stuff, then you were probably also listening to albums like Victims of the Future, Run for Cover, Corridors of Power, all of Gary's heavier stuff. So if you haven't checked out his, this, I think, absolute landmark album from 1990, Still Got the Blues, then you owe it to yourself to do so. I think it's Gary's best album, hands down. I don't think he ever recorded anything better, and it's on any discussion of Gary's music or blues music in general, this album will always figure on any list that I come up with. So yeah, check it out. Next,
On the Blue Side by Dave Manetti.
Yeah, I only discovered this one myself recently, thanks to Spotify, how I discover a lot of music at the moment. How Spotify sort of suggests things for you. Dave Manetti was the guitar player in Y&T. So again, we're talking about growing up in the 80s or 70s and 80s and being aware of the rock music then. Chances are you were probably listening to Y&T and Diamond Head and, all of those kind of bands. And Dave Manetti was a big part of that scene. And, this album is full of really good hard rock blues playing. It's sort of got that thing that Gary's album Still Got the Blues has, where, yeah, it's blues, but he's playing it with a kind of high-gain guitar tone and some fiery, fearsome, shreddy kind of playing, but in a blues context. So if you're coming from that heavier kind of side of things and you're wanting something to kind of ease you into the blues side, then this album would be an ideal choice. So that's why I'm recommending it. Next,
Greatest Hits by Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble.
You simply can't ignore Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I was thinking which of his studio albums would have been the ideal way into his music, and it was very nearly Couldn't Stand the Weather, because I like Scuttlebuttin' and the fantastic version of Voodoo Child on there and everything. But I think on the whole, if you're new to any artist or genre, then sometimes a greatest hits package is a good way in. And this is a pretty good selection of songs. It's got all of the obvious things on here, like Tightrope, Crossfire, Pride and Joyce, Texas Flood. It's got all of the obvious things on here. House is rocking. As I say, you can't ignore Stevie's music, and if you're looking to get into blues, and this is probably the best way that I could think of. So yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, greatest hits. Next,
Orgy of the Damned by Slash.
A relatively new album, only came out this summer. Slash, Orgy of the Damned. Basically just Slash and a few of his showbiz pals. I think Billy Gibbons is involved and I forget who else. Just kind of having some fun, cranking out some blues covers. And I did a solo analysis, can't remember when it was, but recently, of the lead-off track from this album, the sort of Slash and version of the Steppenwolf tune. Or was it Hoyt Accident? I'm not sure. But anyway, a tune called The Pusher that's on this album. Just kind of great sort of bluesy rock playing from Slash and a load of guest appearances. So once again, we're talking 80s kind of guitar rock kind of stuff. Then you were probably listening to Guns N' Roses, and this is what Slash is up to now. He's doing blues covers, and a fine album this is as well. So well worth checking out. As I say, you are coming from the heavier end of the spectrum, and you're wanting to know what all the fuss is about blues. Check this album out. Next,
Mahogany Rush live by Frank Marino. Mahogany Rush.
Yeah, now is this a blues album? Not really, but I'm including it on here because there's a lot of blues guitar playing on it. Frank Marino's, kind of shreddy blues rock stylings are, absolutely awesome to listen to. There's a few sort of 12 bars on here. Johnny Be Good, I'm a King Bee, etc. It's just good, hard rocking, bluesy guitar-based music, and again, as in terms of building bridges between the metal and rock end of the spectrum, then you could do a lot worse than this album. Maybe you already have it, because maybe it's sort of maybe it was an album like this, or any of the ones I've been talking about, that piqued your interest in exploring the bluer end of the spectrum. But in case you haven't got it, I mean, if you don't know this album at all, then oh dear me, are you in for a treat when you check this out. Just utterly sublime guitar playing, and just great memorable tunes. So well worth taking a listen to. And those are the 5 albums that I would recommend to anyone who is maybe a newbie to the blues from the heavy rock, hard rock, metal end of the spectrum. Let me know what you think of my choices, and I'm sure, as always, when I do these top 5 lists, you've got one of your own, so leave that down in the comments down below. It'll be interesting to see what you think I got right and what you think I got wrong. But that is the video for today, folks. Hope you've found it entertaining and informative in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell in case you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time. We drink beer and talk about stuff, music, guitars, whatever. It's a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.